Okay, you should have your notes out that look somewhat like this, and we're going to do a brief introduction to piecewise functions. In the first quadrant, I need you to write the word definition, and then characteristics, example, and non-example. The definition of a piecewise function is at least two different rules that apply to different parts of the domain. And remember, the domain is your x value. So we're talking about two functions, one for one set of x values and another for a different set of x values. Some characteristics of piecewise functions are that they are varied rates of change, meaning that one set of your domain may have one slope, but the next is going to have a different slope. So you have varied slopes. We're going to use function notation, which instead of using y, we are now going to use f of x, and that's how this is. This f parenthesis x close parenthesis is pronounced. It's f of x. Okay, that's called function notation. And then we're going to use a bracket, and just one bracket. We're not going to use the closed bracket, but this shows all expressions in a group are part of that function. So it shows you that they all show up on the same graph and table, things like that. So an example would look like f of x equals, and then you have a rather large bracket because we're going to have more than one expression here. So the first expression is 2x plus 10, and this right here tells us when 0 is less than x and when x is less than 5. So between 0 and 5 for your x values, you're going to have 2x plus 10. Now from 0 or from 5 to 10, it changes and it becomes 4x. And a non-example would be quadratic functions and cubic functions, because those are non-linear functions, and so are piecewise functions somewhat, but there's only one expression used to get those functions, while piecewise functions require more than one expression. And that's your brief introduction to piecewise functions. Make sure you have it all written down and you're ready to start practicing this.
Grade 11 student, we had already discussed piecewise function in our first monthly and periodical coverage. As we all know, in mathematics, a piecewise function, or also known as hybrid function, is defined by a multiple subfunctions to a certain interval of the main functions. Another meaning defined as, it is a function defined on a sequence of interval. This function can be used to calculate payment rates and other scientific and financial problems. Each part is defined by a specific domain. At this time, we will now be able to watch with you the video which we consider as our piecewise function strategy. So guys, let's watch this.
thank you for your kindness and thank you for accommodating us.
Or we have come up with this equation that C of F is equals to 110 if F is less than or equal to 3. So C of F is equals to 110 pesos minus 12 pesos of fish if F is greater than 3. That's all.